Hello, YouTube. Welcome on back. We have done a bit of district planning. I would like more setups like this. Vamp Castle with open air museums around it. Absolutely ridiculous in terms of culture. I'm hoping that these carry our culture a lot. I'm not over planning theater squares. This is something I like to do a lot because I like to really build wonders, as I am generally a culture player. But this is not going to be that game. I've got a few industrial zones planned. This one is decent if we get this. This one is only going to be about +2, given all of that, unless we get Machu Picchu somehow. But I think it'll be good enough for like the regional effect for these 3 cities, etc. And then, you know, from there, we'll get what we can. I don't know if we'll be able to get this in the face of Teddy, but maybe we can. And maybe long term, we can settle even more cities up north. We are sending a trader out up there, so we should be able to funnel cities north here fairly soon. But all of that was to prove that we could just get our government plaza here and be reasonably happy about it. A couple theater squares, of course, and we are overriding some mines for it. Our cap's not maybe the best Ruhr Valley cap in the world, given that we're going to override some tiles, but I think it'll be good enough. How did we do on the progress here? We did okay. Next turn, I'll put in the policy, and then we'll see what happens. I want this farm pretty badly, and then I'm going to go get an industry. Now, we lose our faith because of industry. But again, it's not that big of a deal. I'm picking that. I picked that Pantheon less because it's like outstandingly good and we need to really build around it, and more because it works in this situation, and I very rarely get to pick that one. Never seen him denounced with an at war emoji. Yeah, he's fighting someone that I haven't even met yet. Which is interesting. Can I faith buy anything? We can get another builder. Builder over here is solid because we could chop out this builder then. Could even harvest this for a little bit of gold. Think about this type of stuff. I could also lock in this commercial hub. I know that this is part of the play long term, right? And I'm reasonably happy about it with the harbor. So we can lock that in. And maybe even go for it next. Similarly, could do this, although I want them to get the campus first. We're pretty close to our second district, so I can do both. But I do want some campuses. Going commercial hub first is fine. Might always find a better Ruhr city. It's true. It's true, and we might get blocked here. But having your cap be Ruhr city is usually pretty solid. I'm overriding 2 hills, basically. It's not that bad. Well, 3, I suppose. I don't even really need to get this, but 1 mine, I don't know. It should be a good enough Ruhr city, even if it isn't outstanding. Like the city below it actually would have been really good. The St. Basil's, had we focused on St. Basil's here, we could have done St. Basil's Ruhr, and this would have been fairly outstanding as well. Boom. So we lose the faith, but we get the food, and I think that's more important for us in the short term. Because we have provision for a reason. We don't have a ton of food in the cap. I want to work that for sure. This, and that. Most definitely. And we're overriding a nice farm triangle for the cap too. One thing with Ruhr cities, you want enough population to work all the tiles. I'm not necessarily prioritizing food enough there. I could run 1 more campus research grant, but we could also stockpile some faith and maybe snipe it that way. I am going to bring down inspiration. I do have barbs to clear, so there is that. I don't need land surveyors anymore. I frankly don't need much of anything, so I'm going to run Ilkum, I think, for a couple turns. Let's go ahead and check in on what this trade could be. Oh yeah, make that play. Was that during the crash maybe? So he likes Diplo favor. Can we buy any Diplo favor? Can buy some Diplo favor. So he's out. So let's sell him 20. And do that. Yeah, Void Sync. We're not necessarily playing Kristina optimally here. Just for the record, we're pretty playing into our map, which is I think a good thing in Civ 6. Like you want to be flexible with your approach to the game because sometimes the map dictates something different than what you've got going on. But yeah, so I'm not necessarily leaning into her strengths as much as I normally like to. But that's okay. It's quite a deal. And allows me to buy another the other Mercury in the cap. He likes luxuries a lot. So I think I'm going to do this again more for Diplo than anything. And that'll pay for itself as well. And then even though I took out land surveyors, I think I'm going to buy this. I have one more charge left with the builder. I could also get some more farms. I'd like the feudalism boost, but it might be a little bit hard to come by. I'm going to save my gold. I'd really like to get Hypatia. Oh, I didn't put in... Did I put it in? I did. Okay. More goody huts. How about it? Pretty cramped over here. He's got iron for sure. Do I run another project for Hypatia?
No hour of life is...
I don't think I'm going to get it otherwise. He's at 4.6. We're at 3.4. Ooh, diamonds. Kind of weird. I am a little tempted to chop out another project, grab Hypatia. It's pretty solid and will benefit us greatly long term. It slows down our expand a bit, but our land isn't too contested. At worst, Teddy's going to settle some of this, and we can kind of go laterally here. It looks like there's a fair amount of land just due east that we could take advantage of. Not to mention, there's no one really super close up here. It looks like Australia is going north. Some of this might shrink, but we might be able to get multiple cities up there. Seems weird, but I'm gonna do it. +1 science for those ley lines I've got. Yeah, indeed, indeed. I appreciate your humor. Hi, Maui. Irrigation boost, masonry boost. Not super necessary, but it's fine. Maui would be fun. Otherwise, it's a sunk cost. Yeah. I don't want to get too lost into sunk cost fallacy. Can I clear this before you turn into a thing? Don't know. That pretty much gets us there. Government Plaza next turn. Again, back to growth issues here. Kind of knew that this was going to be a thing with the cap. They may want a watermill despite the lack of farmable resources. Hypatia good. Seems best case is like +10 science. I mean, a free library and then 10 science. Yeah, 10 science over time. It's pretty solid. And then honestly, you get to increase that with enlightenment techs, right? So eventually, it turns into kind of even more than that. And it's honestly, again, sometimes I do things maybe not necessarily because they're perfectly optimal, but because I don't get to do it very often. And like, how often do I get a chance to get Hypatia? Not very often.
People who cannot find time.
All right, that should be good. I still need a monument in the cap. Thank you, Paititi, for carrying me this game. So that's Coliseum. I really haven't planned a Coliseum. I think there's probably a fine one somewhere. But I don't know that I'm going to go out of my way for it. Again, it's amazing. You should get it in every single game. But I get it in every single game, usually. So sometimes not getting it just because you always get it is the way that I'm going to go. You know, just something different. Variety is the spice of life, as they say.
My man.
Could buy it. This is a long policy switch, is what I'm thinking about here. XMiffy? Zimiffy? Thank you for the follow. I guess I leave it in. I'm not thrilled about it. Finishing up a builder, though. Ilkum not looking super good. Doesn't seem amazing either. But I think it's the best I have in terms of econ policies. Yeah, I can go pretty quick, small soldiers. I don't first of all, don't compare yourself to me. I have 5,032 hours in this game. It's literally been my job since it released, pretty much, to stream this game. So you're doing yourself a disservice if you want to compare yourself to me. Not that I'm the best player out there, not by a mile, but I do have a lot of experience. And I tend to want to go quick, just in terms of content creation and people's consumption of it. If that makes any sense. Yeah. I get it. I've got tons of playthroughs on my YouTube and whatnot. If you want models, what I do try to do is model the games as best I can. I usually do try to play to leaders' strengths. Although I'm again like there are exceptions to that. This game being one of them. Nice. Yeah, this land looks open. All right, there's Hypatia. Very exciting. Get the education Eureka as well, and then the free library. So that's looking pretty good. And we have the extra 15% science from our Mercury industry here. So good stuff happening. I do need food in the cap. That is a big problem. Ooh. Yes. Yes. And it's a first meet. 100 Faith is not too bad either. I am kind of going for this commercial hub. Another food-based trade route in the cap seems like a great idea to me. I can also start faith buying settlers. I can gold or faith buy this settler. You know what? Let me gold buy the granary. Just for some amount of food. After apprenticeship, I think I'm going to unlock the watermill and get it in the cap. Again, not amazing in the cap. But any little bit of food seems good. And then I'm going to faith buy this settler. Yeah, so he is going to settle south a bit. I know that we're not going to be able to get all the land that we want. Thus is the nature of Civ 6. Let's look at envoy quests. Train unit, send trade route, recruit great person. That's a merchant. Should be able to start working on merchants. That is us already. Would not hate this. Fortify first for the defensive bonus, and then take your promotion to heal, so that we get a fortification bonus. All right, where's this city settle opportunity? I'd like it to be up this way to secure some land in the face of Teddy. But the faster settle is up here on the cotton. Or maybe even all the way up here. Loyalty is starting to be a problem. Let's go this way. That could be our vamp invite. Seems decent. Again, we fortify here for the defensive bonus. Try to get away from the barbs, but make sure you remember to wake your unit up. All right, is this vampires? Yes. Pog. All right, so that allows us to adopt Sanguine Pact. Gets us a vampire. Who might want to come over here and help do stuff. I can't get vampires until the medieval vampire castles until the medieval era. Yes. 2 per empire. Yeah. So I think we send the vamp over here. Again, I kind of like this turning into a city state. Do we have the resources on many? Abundant is the word. No, I don't think we have abundant resources on. No, we do, because we put on monopolies. Yes, we do. We do. I take that back. We do. Need to get them a harbor. Apprenticeship in 4, and then we'll figure out our tech tree from there. Bit of a slow go here in terms of getting our empire going. Buy a builder, get more farms. I'd rather buy the market here. It's a long time for it to build though. Hi Ironside. How you doing? Please don't get killed in the flood. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Kristina. I have been since launch. I also very much am a culture player, so I kind of love what she's up to regardless. Tiki Tibo. Okay, nice Ironside. Sounds good. Yeah, I tend to play in this direction anyways. And yes, her kit is one of the best for like culture and Diplo. I think she might be the best Diplo. Nah, they're Canada and America are both good Diplo civs too. I don't know. Anyone suggest a fun civ for you to play? Oh man, it depends on what kind of skill difficulty. Order up a number in terms of skill difficulty. Let's buy Diplo next turn. Am I surviving this? I think so. I'm double fortified. I'm not super defensive terrain, but I think I'm defensive enough. I think I'm going greedy. Shocker. Building Oracle? No, great library. Lots of good land to settle just laterally here. How's Babylon? What's best victory for them? Babylon is an outstanding domination civ because you can outclass your AI, the AI and units. We just recently had a YouTube game that was Babylon naval domination. That was especially fun. There's another Babylon game on my YouTube channel that is basically the biplane meta. You can get to biplanes basically in like the classical age, which is kind of ridiculous given that they're a modern age unit, as long as you follow the proper progression. So I think they're very much like you can basically go right to crossbows. Crossbows can outclass the AI. There's a lot of good ways to play Babylon, but domination is kind of my favorite. You can certainly do science with them too. You can do biosphere tourism. There's many a thing. Yeah, no problem. Rip. That was greedy of me. I thought I'd survive. I thought there was a little bit. Oh, God. Tornadoes? Anybody? Actually, I'll back up both. Annie M. My goodness. What up, BFD? How you doing? Oh my God, that was a lot of barbs. I'm glad I couldn't finish that movement. Are storms like that predictable in their motion? They're somewhat predictable. I think it's usually left to right, but they kind of go everywhere. I've seen tornadoes go like zoom down. I've seen them go in all kinds of directions. So I don't think they're super predictable. Is the proper answer to that question.
No te mini cap.
There is no easy way.
Is it gone? Yeah, see, it went this way. It still can't get through. Ooh, goody hut. Now the volcano. Don't say that. Don't say these things. Chat, why would you do this to me? All right, I think I go for the greedy settle up here. It's a bunch of nice luxuries. I think it's going to kind of at least set a northern border for our empire. Not that I wouldn't mind settling even more cities above it, but like that plus this is like means that all that's kind of mine. All right, don't need this anymore. How close are we to settlers? Next turn? So we're on next turn settlers. I like that. Feudalism Eureka would be very nice. We need to investigate and see if we can actually get that. My new city might be able to get a bunch of farms, which is good. We're going to go settler production now. It's way better than two gold per turn. That's actually pretty bad. And then let's get discipline back in. For the barbs. I should have, again, taken that before I did it. Double greedy settle. I'm doing it. I'm doing all the things. Pingala makes a lot of sense here. We could set Pingala up in Uppsala. For the time being.
My man.
While our capital builds settlers. Jaded Nightwing, thank you for the follow. What is this? Ooh, a Temenaki. A Temenaki still available at 68 is kind of mind-blowing. New population. In the cap. I'll take it. Cap's struggling to get citizens anyway, so a free pop here is actually quite nice. I actually want I actively want this to erupt so that I can turn this into volcanic soil so I can get a farm triangle here. I know. I'm thinking about I've got a lot of alert ideas, House. I'm thinking about working on that a bit this month. Cap needs a monument so bad, but I'm going to buy this watermill next turn. Again, it's not amazing, but I need all the food I can get. And then we'll get some builders and start chopping them out.
Sometimes the wheels...
All right, after all that, the scout is going to go backwards because Teddy can't handle his barbs. Is TOA still available? Yeah, it is. Again, I wouldn't hate it. It's not the worst idea. It would be a solid amount of food for the cap and some housing. And if that's going to be the spot for Ruhr, I don't mind it. It does interrupt this farm triangle kind of drastically. Yeah, there is a deer for it, for sure. But I really need to get cities down. So I don't know that I can prioritize it at this exact moment. We might be able to grab it like kind of late later on. Barb strength still has some value. I think this is fine. Okay, Guitarja got it, meaning Teddy wasted some production. That would have been a great Temenaki tile. So, feudalism boost. If I settle this, I can get... I could buy tiles and get 3 farms pretty quickly. I can't get multiple farms in the cap. I can't really get a lot of farms here either. I could get a temporary farm in the cap if we wanted. Oh yeah, I was going to buy this. Again, not amazing. Yeah, I'm going to try to aggressively fill in the cities. That's why I'm not going to go for the wonder. 3 specialty districts. Not super close to that. Like, look at how good of a buffer this has turned out to be. It's almost guaranteed. I mean, he's been at war, so, like, it's not guaranteed, but it's pretty likely that we would have seen a city up in our face without this. So, like, as risky as this was, and as much as I do think I should have settled this city first, it's worked out somewhat well for us. All right, he's starting to like us. So I don't know about the... yeah, the AI does follow you. I mean, look, that's a Civ 6 thing, right? Multiplayer players forward settle each other. That's like a pretty... frankly, it's just not bad AI is what I'm saying. Is it frustrating? Absolutely. But I think it's appropriate. Given what the Civ series is. Terrible defensive terrain. Don't care if the vamp dies. They can't actually die. Wow, pyramid's still available. Pretty low odds that I actually get it, right? Get our Hypatia library, I think. Granary makes sense too. Do I always build Ancestral Hall? No, not always. If I'm going super wide and I have the time and space to do so, then it's usually the best. But otherwise, sometimes I like the other ones. It just depends. Yeah, we did get her, which is nice. Why did we put the northern city where we did? Just because I thought it could get big with the floodplains like this. The fact that you get to start with like a decent 2-2-1 tile. I guess there's an argument to actually go up one more tile. But Zanzibar's got a lot of envoys. I don't know that I'm going to be able to claim a lot of land from them. Yeah, I still think I like where it's at. It's not amazing for a campus, but we could district in this direction. It's mostly just like a big placeholder loyalty buff is what I was thinking. And I think I'm okay with it for now.
My man.
Tipper, thank you for the follow. Welcome. Go one to the left and have a 2-2 settle. Yeah. Yeah, I don't hate that. Picks up this stuff a little bit better because, again, it's kind of unlikely that I'll get a city down below. I like that, dwarfs. Let's do that. It's also defensible in case shenanigans, but, like, it picks up a third dies. It's going to be a triple die. Like, maybe we wind up getting a holy site here just for some faith. Again, our faith is not amazing. The Pantheon's not exactly carrying us. But not that Pantheons necessarily should. Okay, so are we aggressive with this settle? I know there are barbs galore up here. I kind of want to follow my road so that I can settle cities faster. I think it's a pretty big deal, actually. Especially since we're kind of slow. It's turn 73, and I only have 3 cities. About to have 4, and soon 5, but still. City every 10 turns is not exactly working out for us. Play greedy from the start. Why stop now? That's a fair point. So I'd prefer to buy the feudalism builders. I think we just hard tech feudalism and then get the feudalism builders. It means that this is only going to be a three charge builder, but everything else beyond that should be better. And I don't mind getting that horse tile on right away. So I don't think I delay 8 turns to settle that city. Again, like the speed in which we do this matters a good bit. I haven't really planned their districts at all. I think I just plunk down a campus and then work on the monument. I think that's reasonable. Lots of geothermal fissures on the map, which is great. Get a man-at-arms there and buff our vamp. I can't promise this at all. If he's mad at that one, he gonna be real mad at some of the rest of them, right? So I think we're just gonna have a tiff with Australia most of the rest of the game. Which is so weird because he's usually such an easy ally. I guess he's maybe mad because this, but like, isn't that similar? Yeah, Monty friendly. I like that. Let's make more allies. Oh, I don't have irrigation. I was going towards Petrotech, but let's take a little pit stop for some of these easier techs to get, yeah? Well, you erupt already. Really? He declares war on you every time? Oh. I feel like he's usually an easy ally. But I could be wrong. Yeah, I really only have the one farm. I'm not gonna use my economy to get a builder to get this Eureka. I'd rather use my economy to buy the monument and get us there. In fact, that's not a terrible idea. All right, we're our abusing the AI is coming to a swift end here. But let's start turning things into some gold.
Thousands have lived without love.
He went over there. Okay. And then I'm waiting to chop out all of the rest of this with Magnus once we have feudalism builders. It's a slow burn, but it should be efficient. I'm so stuck here, huh? Oh god, with this too. My poor scouts. This has been a terrible scouting game. We call this a natural 20 where you come from. Nice. Are you a big D&D fan, small soldiers? I'm also a big D&D fan. Oh, nice. Open borders with Teddy. All right, maybe we can get out of here then.
It is not that life. If I were again big.
Meteorite? Don't. Ooh, actually, I can grab this. Maybe. So I really want to buy this market. Build the granary. And then faith buy a settler. Or a trader, rather. I know that I just ate up a lot of our potential monumentality economy. But getting our cap to grow, I think, is slightly more important. And it's also going to give us more gold per turn. $9 gold per turn out of that, too. Enjoy D&D, but a commitment to a campaign is too much for you. I get that for sure. And that tends to be one of the bigger issues with D&D in general, is just getting a regular group going. Attendance gets harder as you get older. And this may be internal, it may not be. I think it is, right? It's a solid road for us. We are potentially going into a dark age, which is very interesting. I've been struggling with era score this game, which is not something that usually happens to me. I'm also not wonder spamming, which is probably a big part of it. You know what? Let's call this a video. While we think about our future plans, how I can get more era score. We've settled here. I don't think I can get up here in time in terms of settling a new continent. But we've got some things, some considerations to do, and some plays to make. Thank you, YouTubers. Thanks for watching. We will see you in the next one.